We have a very sick neighbor. It's not a neighbor, but it's close to a neighbor, and that's Venezuela. It's very sick. Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long?
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long.
So there will be an operation by the U.S. and
it sounds good to me.
In some of those comments that we just heard on Air Force One, President Trump pointed to a handful of other countries that he seems to have a close eye on. He said when it comes to Colombia that it's a very sick country run by a very sick man. He was asked, is there going to be an operation there? And he said, sounds good to me. He's also talked about Cuba and, Cuba being, quote, ready to fall. So is this action in Venezuela just the beginning of a more regional push by this president?
Well, in some ways it's a beginning, but in some ways, if you think about what he's been doing for the last 12 months, there is a pattern here. It's not traditional diplomacy, shall we say, and it's not even traditional American interventions. But if you think about the fact that he's given a $20 billion loan to the Argentinian government, which he regards as friendly. He's imposed massive tariffs on the Brazilian government run by somebody who he doesn't like. There is already a pattern here. Venezuela, because of its oil, was next on his list. But clearly he has made a real policy position, what he calls the Donroe Doctrine, after the Monroe Doctrine of the 19th century. It's about the Western Hemisphere. And I think one of the more alarming things that he has actually said today is that he's talked about Greenland as well. So that's basically the whole of the Americas that he's talking about. Now, needless to say, Denmark and Greenland aren't very impressed about this. Cuba, I think, must be very, very worried because he is right to say that most of its income was coming from Venezuela and Venezuelan oil. So there's a big question about whether these sanctions that is imposed on Venezuelan oil will actually completely crush the Cuban economy. So, I don't think it can be at all. I think you've got to presume that these threats against both Colombia and Cuba are very real.